So that's the big one. And then this one, I know the other one is this budget number still isn't reporting correctly. And I know, Justin, you and I had spoken about that last week, and I can't remember where we landed on that. Do you remember that discussion, Justin?
I think I had that conversation with Karen. I'd have to go back and look. No, I have to remember why.
I think it was maybe a calculation error, or
Yes. So the issue was that it was calculating everything within there. So we needed to only calculate for the final year of the graph. So it was adding all of the numerators from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, so on up, and then the same for all the denominators, and then doing the division. We need it to be where it only does that for the final year of the graph. So 2023, so the current year, pretty much.
And that's only for the revenue per shift one.
I believe so, because is the budget correct over on speeds?
yeah. So this budget number and this budget number are reporting correctly. They match what I have in my other tool. So yeah, I don't know if that's just
Is revenue per shift still not showing correctly, because it used to be 18 something.
You know what? I can double check on that. So I'll double check offline and make sure. So yeah, okay, I'll double check and get back to you on that. And then so those are like the only two items in this dashboard. And actually, Karen, I was going to ask you about the downloading format options. So when I download it, it basically takes a screenshot and puts it on a slide, right? And hold on, I'm opening it over here. So what I usually do is I usually just crop it and put in my own title. But is that kind of our only option for downloading it into a PowerPoint, is for it to take that kind of screenshot?
Do you want for it to be in an image, or would you like the data?
No, an image works fine. But I mean, what I normally do is just end up taking like this title, BNSF rail grinders 418, and then putting it like in a PowerPoint title. And it's not a big deal. Actually, I can show you the presentation that so this is what I'll do with the slides. So I'll just modify them a little bit. So I'm assuming it's our only option is to get that kind of screenshot onto a slide, right? It wouldn't format a PowerPoint.
Oh, got it. Okay, let me see what the other options might be. But yeah, maybe there's a way to get a screenshot of I don't
Yeah, and
know. But
that's not a must have. I guess that's kind of a nice to have if it would do something like format it so the title would be, one or two of those filters added together up here. I guess I was asking if that was a possibility or if you've ever seen that.
no, I haven't seen any other options to
Okay.
PowerPoint, but I see that it's kind of pushing it to the right because of what Tableau server does whenever I publish it. It like moves everything to the left, so I had to put in that white box on the
Yeah,
left.
and don't worry about that. So I guess yeah, because I usually, like I said, I usually just crop it and add my own title anyway. So
And I see you're replacing the percent of call speeds for the other bar chart. Would you prefer to have the other bar chart instead?
Yeah, so that's like the big issue, right? So no matter what filters I apply to it, um, oops, and then I go back to the main screen. All it does is so it just keeps these four cost centers in these graphs. So it's like it always is at the default view, just this graph.
Okay. Yeah.
So my workaround has been to take a snip of this and then paste it over on the slide.
Got it. So those two filters wouldn't communicate with each other, but what I can do is add another panel so that one of them is to zoom in and the other one is to filter.
Yeah,
So
so
like
it
another
works.
one of these boxes.
Yeah, so it works. It works on the revenue or the shift type days. I can make changes here. Um,
That carries over.
it does. Yep.
Okay, let me see
So,
what's going on there.
so yeah, so that's that first bullet point. So yeah, that carried over to the graph. You've got all the data points here in this graph that I filtered. Um,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
that yeah, that
I'll
oh go
look
ahead.
into that and I can also easily add the filters onto this view if you wanted, or I can pre-filter it to whatever you prefer as well, so that you have
Um,
that like on the first view.
oh, like down, you're talking about the data labels?
Like so since you're having to go in there and make some changes, I can have those already defaulted so that it's always going to select those values
Oh,
automatically.
oh no, I mean, so yeah, I need the option to come in here and change these values.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah, the option would still be there.
pre-filtering wouldn't be necessary. Yeah, I guess I just need the percent of called speeds graph to work like the shift type days graph. If
Okay.
that does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then
So
I know you responded to this. I don't know if I completely understood it, but so yeah, so this budget 313 million is so this graph is right on the money. The rest of the graphs, the budget is still like double. So all these other data points that are based on that budget are pulling in like a million of like or a number of like 650 million instead of 313. So I know that you and Justin were able to fix this graph. I'm just wondering if we can apply the same fix to the rest of the graphs.
so I can apply that fix to all of the ones. I can share my screen. I started doing that. Um the issue is that so these are each a separate viz. That's the only way to get this number correct if it's
Oh, okay.
mixed in with this one. So I did that for these guys over here. The only problem is that they are gonna be misleading as far as the height of each of these. Um, and then actually now the forecast is incorrect. The forecast here should be 74 million. And so I'm still going in here and trying to see like what's going on. But one of the problems is going to be the height. Like I could manually increase the padding to make it to where it makes sense. Like the um, height is more representative of the difference between the two. But then next year I'll have to change that again manually. And that's just only for the ones where I can do it separately, but the ones where they're together, like it's the percent to budget, those here are gonna be difficult. Like they would have to um I don't know. That's what Justin and I are gonna meet about after this call. or just, and we can start to talk about it now if you'd like. Um, but yeah, I can fix these, but these three here where they have to be on the same calc, that's whenever the numbers get messed up for some reason.
It's because the metric that you're using is deciding to add everything, no matter what type of budget it is. So that's why we were getting, it was almost duplicate. You said it was almost duplicated, Clint, because it was adding the 320 from the forecast to the 313 from the budget.
Oh, is that
Yes.
how it came up to
Yeah.
633 million? Okay.
Yep. So the issue is trying to get them separated, but when you filter out, the reason that she had to separate them is you can't have that filter. If you put the filter for just the budget, then it gets rid of the forecast. So we have to do them separately. So we'll have to figure out how we can separate those other ones and still make them look like, they're not separated.
Sure. I mean, I guess, so if we need, or Karen, could you go back to the dashboard? So if you need more real estate, so this this line graph right here is really the same data as if you scroll up as the bar graph on the right here first. So we can take out the line graph. I don't know if that helps at all, but they're really telling us the same thing.
Well, I mean, like she said here, it looks like we're trying to. The issue with these ones is their percentage against.
Yep.
So it's a matter of trying to figure out, obviously, budget compared. But if we're using the wrong thing, it's going to take 633 and put it next to 320, even though it
Right.
needs to be 313 next to 320.
Right.
And we can't, once again, say we want the budget number, because then we get rid of the forecast number, and now it's 313 divided by 20 or 0, which is an error.
Yep.
So there's some logic we'll have to play around with there. And once we figure out that logic, it would probably dictate how we're going to have to mess with the dashboard itself.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I like I said, I don't even know enough about the data sources and the plumbing in the background to speak intelligently about that. But I mean, those are like the only points I had. Karen, is that enough direction?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there must be a way. Justin and I will figure something out, even if it's doing it manually for now, like getting some sort of formula to. Yikes! I don't know. I mean, I thought of like duplicating the data set and then removing the forecast from one and the budget from the other, but that didn't work. So it's really funny how it's acting. But yeah, we might have to unpivot the data and do it the long way.
Okay. Well, I'm going to double check on that revenue per shift again. I'll check a bunch of different data points and and see if that's reporting correctly. If it's not, then I'll ping you guys. But otherwise, I don't have anything else right now.
Okay. Might you be able to send over a list of accurate numbers so that we can compare what we have as we're debugging?
Sure. For the what
For
you're displaying on
this.
the screen for that
Yeah.
dashboard.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So it looks like, let's just scroll up a little bit, Karen, please. So yeah, we don't have to go super in depth like I require. Clint, if you just want to send what the Q1 budget and forecast should be, or what the quarters should be for 2023,
Sure.
I think we should be fine.
Okay. Okay? Sounds good. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah. The machine group, does that matter?
Are we
Or
filtering by machine group on here?
yeah.
Oh, down at the percent of budget by machine group.
Same with
Um,
the salespeople. I'll send all that. It's pretty
okay.
easy to send.
I was gonna say otherwise it's probably all the same issues. So once we figure out the logic for one, it shouldn't be terrible to apply the logic to the others. But if you say it's pretty easy, that'll help out.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll do that directly.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, talk to you later, Clint.
Bye.
Thank you, Clint. Okay. All right, so hmm, it's so bizarre. Okay, I didn't know you were there or not.
No, I am sorry.
No worries. Okay, so let's see.
All right. So this is marketing budget, right? That's the data
Yes.
set we're using here.
And this is the so full house.
Let's see here. So it's going to come down to along the lines of, and I think we already tried this, and a lot of things broke. We're going to want to try to figure out how to do this without having to do separate graphs. That's going to be the best way, but I don't know how. Um, would it be more beneficial for us to put up two data sets, one that has the budget and one that has the forecast, and then we should be able to blend them based off of account year, account period, and code B? Because I believe there's only going to be one amount for each code B for each account period per year.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work. That's
And
what
then
I
you'd have
try
two
to
data
do.
sets that we can blend together. Let me quick. I'm gonna leave this one intact. Let me quick view marketing budget as select star from Tableau where budget. Let me make sure I got this correct. I want it to be this. Yep, okay. So I create that, and now we'll do forecast where it does not equal budget. Create those two quick. Mm. So would it be easier? Sorry, I had to make sure I wasn't muted. Would it be easier to blend on the Tableau side, or do you want me to join these two data sets together while I'm creating it?
Um, well, it's always better to not have to blend on the Tableau side, but I wonder
My
if it's gonna
my
have
main
the same issue.
concern is, yeah, that was my main concern. Is if we have that, is it going to be considered one data set again, and now we're going to have the same issue?
Yeah, I think it would be. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like this issue, it just totally shouldn't be happening, but I think, yeah, that now it could
Okay. So
work.
we'll it wouldn't be hard to do either way. So I'm going to throw them up as separate ones, and we can blend and see what happens. Let me quick, just so they're easy to find. Hmm, I want you. We did not want right there. Marketing. You're gonna make me do this over again, aren't you? Because I created something. There we go. Not what I wanted. There we go. Uh, okay. In the marketing project, I created another folder, another project called test data sets, just so that if we decide that this doesn't work, we can just blow it all away with no issue. Um, you have access to it. That's where both
Yay.
of these now live. The data sets are called marketing budget, fin budget files, and marketing forecast fin budget files. So you should have access to those, and we can start working with those. Yep. So the top two. Oh no, no, sorry, the middle two.
Okay, so there's the forecast. Mm, I wonder which should be the primary one.
I don't think when you blend, is it more of an inner join or is it an outer?
Uh, it's like a real-time link of the data. That
Right.
yeah, I think it's
So that means if there is not a link, it just doesn't show up.
yeah.
Okay, not necessarily great. So it does matter which one. Actually, it really doesn't. So what you're going to use is the three that you're going to use are account year, um, account period.
Oh, account year, got it. Okay, let me delete this one. An account.
Actually, one second. Let me look. I gotta look at the data set again. I was trying to refresh some stuff quick. I want this. Nope, you are correct. So it's going to be 4 data points. You are going to want account in there as well. So it's going to be account year, account period, account, and code B.
I don't see account period. Year period?
Nope. So your period is going to be wrong. But let me. Sorry.
There's sales. Mm,
It should be
Um,
account underscore period.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. It's in the view itself. And I didn't get rid of anything.
Budget. Budget.
That's not looking like a great connection because we got lots of nulls.
Yeah. Hmm. Besides those two nulls, it seems like they do match.
Okay.
So
Then we're
then,
good. That's decent for now.
okay, so then have budget amounts. See for 2023. Um, then what forecast gives us?
You're still not finding account periods right there. Top of the what's the one called with the dollar sign or the pound sign? So right under measure name ABC, there's an account period.
There it is.
So
Oh,
I don't
it
know
just
why.
won't let us link by it because it has to be a dimension, like discrete dimension.
Okay, then since they are the same, so what year period is going to be 2018-02 instead of 2018 as the year and 02 is the period. So why don't we go back to the blend and instead of doing account year, let's blend on year period because that'll be able to narrow us down to a particular month as well.
Okay, year. Um, okay, so period. It changed the numbers a bit, I noticed. And then you want me to take account year out?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it in because it's not like you're gonna have a part. The year is part of it, so they're gonna be the same. So I don't think it necessarily has to stay out.
Okay. Then those are still there. Okay. But then so the problem is that okay, so I put budget amount in here, which is great. But then the forecast one is a little tricky because that's let me see what kind of
You can still use budget amount for forecast.
okay, but let me see what my calc was before because it's the weird thing where it's not always present for each quarter.
Yes, that is true.
Just copy that over to here. Paste. Oh. Right. Weird.
Isn't that
Um,
the same issue we were getting on the other side?
I don't think that's what it said, but maybe that's what was happening.
You were getting that error at some point. I don't remember exactly when it was,
Hmm.
but
Now blends. Okay, so I wonder if I do it the other way around. Like I put in um forecasts first, which looks right. And then I'll put in the budget, which in this case would be account could be and year period, and then this one doesn't work. Okay. And then budget amounts. Darn. So, but if I put in budget type, I'm gonna wipe everything out. What skews the numbers? I'm surprised it works though.
I don't know if it fully does. Are you able to throw in? And I don't know if we're actually able to. He sent the quarters, so if you're able to put it at a quarter level, then we can kind of see if we're hitting marks or not.
Not seeing any quarters.
Well, no, quarters are. I don't think we have quarters built in. We would need to figure out how to get it to go. Try throwing in year period. Or no. Or count period, sorry. That's what I meant. But no, I'm trying to think here because we're going to probably have to make a. Yeah, take account period out because it's just trying to add them all up, which is not supposed to be. It's just, it needs to just be a number. It's a month. Um, so if I were to put in a date, would that make things a little easier to run up and down?
Hmm.
Because I've seen it where you can put in a date here and then you can press a button and it automatically jumps it to like from a year down to a quarter to a month to a day to a blah 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 blah
Yeah. Yeah, that
blah.
would be what's needed for those bar charts.
Okay, let me do a couple quick fixes here. Let's script as alter 2. I do it this way. Let's see here. I gotta remember what it is. Month. And then how do you work? Or 1 to 2 arguments? That doesn't help me. I gotta remember how this works. We've done this, but how? Mm, So 19, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not sure if it matters to you, just so that we actually have a legitimate date. I'm setting it to be the last day of the month. Does that matter?
No, it doesn't. I could do a
Okay.
date chunk.
Okie dokie. Then let me copy this. I will execute that. Then scroll back up, and I just did budget. So script as alter 2. Same exact thing. Failed because no column was specified. Oh. As execute, then come over here. I never set you guys up, did I? So let me schedule this quickly. Boom, 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 boom.